Hello, and welcome. It is, of course, Worldbuilding Wednesday. So, let's move up to my desk here. I am ever so slightly late, because I am ever so slightly unprepared. But here we are. It looks like everything's in order, so I suppose we should build some worlds. As always, I am your host, Casimir Basilius, Imperial Lord, and, well, as it's Worldbuilding Wednesday, it's our job to build a few worlds. So that's what we're going to do. More than likely. We'll ramble. Who knows? I sure don't. Well, we have a plan of sorts. We've had technical difficulties last time. I believe it was during Solo Sunday. We had horrible technical difficulties. Not sure why, but it appears that they have ceased. So we may move forward. Theoretically, that means next Solo Friday, which is Sunday, but time zones, space time zones. It's on Friday for you. It should work theoretically, unless I don't know, the technology entities decide that it doesn't. So, let's build worlds. Where to begin? That's always the hard part, figuring out where to begin building our worlds. I suppose I should also make sure everything is working. I did, of course, slightly rush to get things working. It does appear so. Let's just double check everything. Good. Everything does appear to be working well enough that we don't need to worry about everything freezing every 0.2 seconds. So, let's build worlds. I think first things first, I mean, recently. Well, that's the thing. It's been a while, so figuring out where to pick up our world building is always ever so slightly, I wouldn't say hard, but it is a process. Hmm. I suppose we should check our notes. Where's our note sheet? Here it is. There we go. I know it was at the bottom of the sheet where we were working. Oh yeah, we were making neural data pads and different variants of gear. That's what we were doing. Gear variants. Good stuff. I was trying to figure out what sort of neural data pad Azrak Trade in Products might release. Easier said than done. I mean, what makes... I suppose there should be some form of biotech neural data pad, possibly. Not sure if that's possible. I'd have to check the law. But that I suppose we can't really do easily right this moment. That would just be me looking at and scrolling through law files that wouldn't be able to be visible. So we wouldn't make much. It'd be boring. Let's see. Let's make some basic gear. Basic gear is easy enough. I do need to add a lot of items to Galactic Requiem. Item lists and all that. So let's do a little bit of item list making. Gonna make those item lists. Ideally. Hopefully. Possibly. Hmm. Kind of think we should work on some vehicles. Let me look at the lists real fast, and we'll figure out what we should add some things to. So take one moment. You could always use more starships. We could always use more ground vehicles. Use more everything, to be fair. More everything. More guns, more armor, more mods, everything. Hmm. Let's see. Like I said, this is always the hard part. If I don't begin with a plan of what we're going to world build, it is it's hard to figure out what to work on, you know? Because normally when I'm doing this myself, I'll I'll stare at a blank screen for a while and then come up with a thing to do. But, you know, here we go. I could use more helicopters. Could use more helicopters. Sure, we'll make helicopters. There we go. Why not? Now, this is a bit, admittedly, this is a little bit less world building, more stat blocking, but, you know, also these prices are absolutely wrong. They are absolutely wrong. I know what I have to do. I know what I should do. Kind of don't want to do it here, which is go through, read all the data, read all the data, cross-reference all the data with a design chart, and then calculate the correct value of the helicopters. But that would be boring. I mean, admittedly, working on stat blocks, at least to others, is probably boring, but you know, we're copying that over, put that to there, and we'll make a heavy multi-purpose utility helicopter. Hmm. One moment while I do a little research, as they say. Just a bit research. Okay, so first things first, HP, probably get that to 50, as this is a heavy helicopter. Mm. No armor, no shields, of course. What size category is this? Likely gargantuan, like the others. And its defense is going to be 6. Probably going to also have DR5, like most vehicles. Now we need to figure out its speed. How fast shall this thing? I'm willing to say 300 kilometers per hour. Now we need to convert that to miles per hour. So let's do math real quickly. And by do math, I mean open a calculator. Speed, miles per hour, no, kilometers per hour. 300, 186 miles per hour. So that is 186 because we're going to round. 186 times 8.8. 186. 186 miles per hour. Equals. Let me make sure I got that right. I hopefully did. I'm not sure. 1,636. 163, and we're going to round down by a bit or up. We're going to round up. 1640. 1640. 16640. And then we're going to divide that by 2. 1640 divide by 2. 820. 820. That seems right. We're going to need 2 crew works. How many people can we put in this thing? This is where we do a little bit of research, I suppose. One moment while I open some info sheets and see exactly, well, average size of crew capacity of helicopters. It'll take me one moment. I have to hope my data net searching bar does not explode. Let's see here. It has not exploded. That's a good start. Here we go. For a heavy helicopter, we'll say it can fit like 50. 50. No, 50 works. Give it arms? We can't give a helicopter arms. But we can give the helicopter passenger. We can't give the helicopter legs either. I mean, okay, so the way if you want to be technical, the way the vehicle construction rules work, we could give the helicopter legs and arms. It's within the vehicle construction rules as allowed, but we're not going to give the helicopter arms and legs. Generic template model 3. GT stands for generic template. Usually it's just a base template we use for modifying vehicles in the future. That way, we can just simply slightly modify stat blocks in case a player, because we have so many worlds in Galactic Requiem that we could we could give it treads. Yes, it is an option, an interesting option, but but I'm thinking this is more of a like something similar to a CH-47 Chinook, you know, big helicopter. I don't think it would make a good treaded vehicle. How much cargo should we give this thing? But yeah, I use generic templates for our base vehicles. That way, if a player goes to random world number 278, I can roll some dice, modify the generic template, and then say, this is a model, insert the new model name for this world. Makes it easy to make a lot of vehicles when there's an entire galaxy out there. 10 tons? 10 tons. Possibly. Hmm. We'll give it 10 tons cargo. Although admittedly, I'm pretty sure it should have slightly less if it carries 50 people. So we'll say 5 tons because of the entire crew section. Now, I'm just gonna delete this fuel cap mileage thing because I do not feel like calculating fuel cap. I really don't feel like doing fuel cap calculations. But I mean, we theoretically could go. We could do that. Um, Technically not unlimited coal. This thing, I just I just really can't be bothered calculating fuel capacity. I could though. I really could. Hmm. But I really don't want to. I mean, we could say it's 200 mile, no, 100 mile range. We could give it 100 mile range. See, the hard part about fuel cap is determining the mileage, honestly. Well, not the mileage, the mileage, technically speaking. So assuming it gets 5 miles to a gallon, and we want it to go 100 miles before it needs refuel, it would be able to carry 20. A fuel cap of 20, 5. That seems strange. Strangely low, even. Now I'm curious. Give me a moment. Time to do a little bit more research. Let's see. 500 miles at 5 miles is going to be 100. So it has about 500-mile range. I think I'm doing that right. 5 miles to the gallon, 100 gallons, 500 miles. Yeah, I think I did that right. Perfect. Acceptable. And it has treads, I suppose. For now. A heavy dual rotor. Dual rotor. I think that's what it would be called. We want it to be sort of like a Chinook. I believe that's called dual rotor, but I'm not certain. I'm not familiar with your Elysian vehicles. Ah, it's called a tandem rotor. Okay, sure. Um, I'm not entirely sure. Pretty much anything. I I did not have time to plan before stream, so my world building plan is yes, it's figure out what to do as I go. Suggestions are open. Multipurpose utility helicopter. I suppose we should add specials to these helicopters. Something like that. Also, I should increase the speed of one of them. I want to make a different variant, a slightly more militarized variant of one of them. Meaning its speed is going to have to change ever so slightly. Not the one we just made, the one right above it. Let's see. If we want this one to have a max speed of about also 200. 86 versus... Sure. We'll have them be roughly the same speed. No, 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 no. Give me ideas. Definitely. I encourage it. I wouldn't know what to work on otherwise, I assure you. Like I said, I did not show up with a plan. M2V2. I am very much willing to work on things. This one will have slightly longer range. Um, either or. Either or. I'm just working on generic things because I could not think of anything to work on. And I need to add more generic things, which is why I'm working on them. But no, I can do generic or specific. I can even stat Elysian vehicles. I'll stat anything. This one's slightly more militarized, so we'll give it 40 HP. AC6, movement there. Actually, I think this one should be faster because it's lighter. One 1760. One moment. My apologies for my slowness. It is admittedly ever so slightly difficult to do math and read at the same time. Someday you might have 500,000 credits again. Um, I could stat a heli drone like that one, yeah. The question is how detailed do I want to stat? Do I want to go into adding all the fancy systems to the helicopters? Because there's generic stat block, but we can be complex and be like, special abilities, radio and navigation, and all sorts of special modifiers and defects that modify the cost is an option. But yeah, no, I'm willing to stat most things. There we go. Combat drone attack helicopter. And I suppose I need a corporation. What better corporation than Greytree? Oh no, I've made a grave mistake. I realized something. I can't. I. Mm, mm. So, when making things, I like using little abbreviated words. Little, like, for Omnicorp Assault, the Omnicorp Assault Rifle is the O-AC. Omnicorp, well, Assault Carbine, the Omnicorp Assault Carbine O-AC. Greytree, GT, generic template. I can't use GT for Greytree. It's an, it's a, mm, Greytree M3. No, this one would be an M3. This would be an M. Who knows what? True. You may have to fight it. Thus is the cost for having me stat one. Thus is the cost. Hmm. Let's see. Huh. I have to figure out information. I suppose I should, if I'm basing something off something, I suppose I should open a wiki of information or something of the like. That would make this easier, that's for sure. I just have to hope my internet does not explode. Datanet connections and all that are not known to be the most stable. Well, multi-dimensional datanet connections are not the most stable. So, um, yeah, might take a moment. Hmm, new net connection, multi-dimensional. Hmm. Okay, here we go. Giving it a shot. As best we can. If only I could remember what it was called. Here we are. Okay. Sorry, not the most enthralling of things. It is a slow process statting things, admittedly. Hmm. We're going to have to improvise. We are going to have to improvise. It is admittedly relatively hard to stat when I can't find similar, well, a data sheet with information on it, you know? It does make it difficult. For instance, what's its speed? I don't know. I have to figure out. Oh, accidentally hit the wrong button there. Here we are. I assume that's in. Hmm. Start with the easy thing. Start with the easy stuff. It is a combat helicopter. So, easily enough, as a attack chopper, we can safely assume it has, and as it's relatively advanced, we can safely assume it has a damage reduction of about 15. Seems acceptable for an attack helicopter. Slightly more armor than an average attack helicopter, so we'll slap DR 15 on it. It is still of roughly the same size category, I believe. It does indeed attack. Pretty sure it's of the same size category, so it keeps the thing. We'll give it a, what's its initiative and maneuver? It should have slightly better initiative and maneuver, so put those at 2. It does not have 50 passengers. It in fact has 0 passengers. Hello and welcome. We are just statting space helicopter. Well, it's not a space helicopter, but sci-fi attack helicopters, most part. I believe it has a crew, well, a passenger capacity of 0. I believe. I don't believe some of what these things are telling me. Let's try again. It is the curse of trying to stat vehicles from things. It is very easy to look up the stats of a modern Elysian vehicle. It's a bit harder to look up the stats of vehicles in sci-fis. Exceptionally hard, even. Yes, welcome, Sparky. Hmm. My apologies. I am actively fighting my ability to figure out what capacity this helicopter has. So, one source says 10 passengers, and I'm holding X to doubt. I am very much holding X to doubt at 10 passengers. I do not believe it. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not giving it 10 passengers. I am going to hold X to doubt very much on that. Um, Speed though, speed's easy. We can do speed. 0 to 1, yeah. I mean, we would consider that crew. I'd give it an option of like 2 crew, I suppose. Um, a lot of these are technically from scratch. I stat things from scratch, but I'll also stat Elysian vehicles. Sometimes I'll use Elysian vehicles as base, Elysian being Earth vehicles. For instance, the generic helicopter GTM3, I based very loosely, statistics-wise, on a Chinook. Of course, the stats are custom, but I based it on like the rough speed of a Chinook altered slightly. Twin rotor like a Chinook, basing it on stuff like that. A lot of things we do stat are just out of the blue. This one, the one that I'm making right now, Cal has requested it be similar to the Ghost in the Shell um Giga Gigabashi helicopter, similar to that. So I'm loosely basing the stats off of that. Difficultly, because there's not a lot of details on the helicopter that I can find. Admittedly, I haven't searched exceptionally hard because doing this and statting at the same time while trying to look something up would involve me being silent doing Google searches. So admittedly, I didn't search exceptionally hard, but you know, doing what I can while still being able to read chat and stat and make this entertaining than trying to do exceptional research silently. You know, mixing both, balancing, if you will. Let's see, should its health be 50? That's the big question. Please tell me I didn't. Okay, I didn't close the thing I needed. Good, 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 good. Yeah, given that it's advanced, I'm willing to give it 50 HP like the big helicopter. Although I probably should give it 45 HP if we're being honest. Hmm. Hmm. 45. 50 is a bit of a big step, strangely enough. 15, possible. It is a bit of a step up from standard modern helicopters for 15, as is 45. For instance, I can tell you that a Hind, an Mi-24 Hind, has about 44, 43, 44 HP. A Ka-50 has about like 41, 42 HP, and an Apache has like 40 HP. So 40, 45 is within the range of acceptable. I'm trying. I also need to remember this AC should be 6 or. We'll give it slightly better AC. It's super maneuverable. It's more maneuverable than a Hind. About as maneuverable as an Apache, I'd say. Maybe a little bit more. We'll give it AC 8, meaning it's a bit harder to hit, even though it's a bit bigger. Let's see. What else should we do? Actually, let's change its handling up. Its initiative should be -2, but as it is super maneuverable, we'll actually give its maneuvering a +2. +2 maneuvering instead of yeah. And we'll say 1 to 2 crew. Technically 0 to 2 crew, as you can put a. You could say that about anything. So we'll assume 1 crew. Say 1 to 2. That way, the automation just technically covers that automatically. Indeed. I mean, it's not ultra maneuverable. It is allowed to hover, but like if we're being technical, like if we're being technical, a F-35 has like maneuverability 10. So I suppose I could boost it. It is technically supposed to be extra maneuverable. It already does have a, so that's the balance. Do we increase its maneuverability? Yeah, the F-22 also has like around 10 maneuverability. Strangely enough, in Galactic Requiem rules, aircraft are exceptionally more maneuverable than starcraft in atmosphere. If you put a starfighter in atmosphere, it will not maneuver anywhere near as well as a aircraft. Theoretically, you could get one that can, but it would cost a lot more. Your average built starships don't get maneuverability bonuses in atmosphere. However, the the other side of that is starships have a, even starfighters have a bunch, a absolute bunch more armoring. They are usually a lot more sturdy. We're talking a difference of like 50 health versus like 120 health. So starships usually carry heavier weapons because your average attack starfighter is up against heavier vessels that fly in space. So usually their weapons are heavier, their armor's heavier, but they maneuver like shit in atmosphere. Like they will be outmaneuvered very easily. And when I say they don't get maneuverability bonus, more so to be genuinely honest, they take maneuverability penalty in atmosphere without modification because of their size. We're looking at like a -8 maneuverability unless you upgrade them. So it's vast. Like you are not outmaneuvering an aircraft in a starfighter unless you have a starfighter specifically purpose built for atmospheric fighting. But if you do have a starfighter built for atmospheric fighting, you're spending so much money on it that like if that thing gets shot down, it is a cost. That I'm not sure about. I'm not sure crazily enough, I don't have the stat block for a Catalina. But so I can't speak to the maneuverability score of a Catalina. I have a limited list of Elysian of aircraft that are pre-built. So honestly, well, the question I suppose is a Catalina more or less maneuverable than a 747? I don't know. If you can answer that, I can give you a rough estimate. But I, as somebody who's not knowledgeable on aircraft, do not innately know whether a Catalina is more or less maneuverable than a 747. Because I have the stats of a 747. So if you can answer that, I can narrow down the numbers. If it was less maneuverable than a 747, I would say it's probably like I'd say maybe -4, maybe. Because 747 is like -2 maneuverability. It's a negative, but it's still less negative than, say, a Starship, to be fair. Well, I mean, an Osprey has a +2 maneuverability, so, I mean, what do I know? Statting things is a complex process. Okay. Now, see, here's one of the things that I mentioned about finding details. What is the range of a of the helicopter Cal wants me to stat? What is its fuel mileage? This is something that's a bit harder to stat because I don't know its fuel mileage. Then again, fuel mileage is optional. It's usually used for like apocalypse campaigns. It's not like we need to track fuel mileage on an average campaign, assuming like it can come up. To be fair, it can come up. Um, Sophia's mech needs fuel. Technically speaking, it has a fusion core, but it still needs fusion fuel. Fusion fuel is cheap though. There are some things that don't need power, but we're talking exceptionally expensive costs then. Does increase the cost. We're not going to figure out the cost of this helicopter right now here because admittedly I'll probably cost it after stream or something because that would just be a lot of math, a lot of boring math to figure out exactly how much buying one of these costs, you know? Because I'd have to add up all the stats, do math about each stats modifier, slap it all together, and then I mean your character's 20 mil, 30 mil, could probably shoot down this helicopter, to be fair. I think. What's the average of 40-10? I don't know the average. It's just like 20 something. I can tell you the average of 40-10 is like 20 something. 22? 24? Luckily we have a thing that can tell us real easy. Take me a second to load. 22. So I was right with my first guess. 22. So technically, you're beating its damage reduction by like 7, meaning you'll do 7 out of 45 of its HP. I mean, if you target shot, you might damage part of it with a target shot. A few targeted shots, take out its rotor, take out its one of its guns, I'm not sure. But you're not taking it down in a turn. Unless you get like a critical, you're not taking it down in a turn. And then it's going to get mad, and it's probably going to fire its armament. And depending, if we give it the armament of a Jigabashi, or a similar armament to a Jigabashi, you're looking at facing, oh gosh, 30mm Gatling. So you fire a 30mm at it, it returns with automatic 30mm fire. Or apparently, it can carry a tank cannon. Because it can carry a tank cannon, yeah. So apparently. Not really what you want to get shot at with. It also supports 4 hardpoints that usually go with rocket packs or guided missiles. Onboard laser tracking, or intelligent remote tracking via the pilot. Hmm. And apparently it should have a +2 targeting computer. So we can actually add that. That's one of those special things that we add. So I mean, yeah, if that thing engages you, you fire a 30mm at it. It returns fire with a tank cannon. Probably best not engage it. Wait a second. I think it should have a, unless I'm, okay, no, that's not a gun up front. Isn't that another gun? I have to look for a good image of this thing, you know? Okay, it doesn't have a forward gun. The gun's only on the rear. Hmm. Yeah, you probably don't want to attack one or be attacked by one. How? Do you intend to mid-air collide it? Yeah, unless I give this variant arms. Give it little helicopter arms. You brought up helicopter arms earlier. The melee helicopter. A in medium. Attack helicopter. A helicopter with a sword is a frightening prospect. But yeah, I might as well give it armament. 4 hard points. One main weapon system. 30mm Gatling. Or, now the question is, what kind of tank cannon? Obviously, a 155mm. No, probably, I'm not entirely sure. I'm checking what it says. Suppose. Hmm, it doesn't entirely say. Give it 100mm. Actually, this thing right here says 105mm. So 105mm. 300mm. The helicopter with a 400mm battleship cannon. Iowa class battleship cannon. I would think it would be light. Yeah, I would think it would be 75, but apparently, according to the book, it's 105. But I could double check. Like I said, a lot of the information I have on this thing, of what I was able to find, is unfortunately doubtful. Like, carries 10 passengers. Sure, sure. I don't think it carries 10 people. So a lot of the information I have on it is very doubtful. And yes, a helicopter with a 406mm, very scary prospect. This thing should have no cargo capacity. 0 LB. We'll give it 4 maneuverability. I've decided it should be very maneuverable. That one helicopter from that one helicopter from Armored Core. That one. Just slap a huge cannon on a helicopter. I mean, to be fair, slapping 105mm on a helicopter is already a huge cannon. But it would be the aircraft mount variant. I have stats for the aircraft mount variant. Because one of the books I have specifically has. Where is it? I think it's the aircraft variant. Let me double check. Yep. There we are. One of the books I have has the stats of a AC-130, and that has an aircraft mounted 105. So I actually have the stats for an aircraft 105. I mean, if you take the right contract, the Mercs, like, well, whatever corporation that hires you will cover the ammo costs depending on the type of contract. It's independent missions in which you have to worry about cost. Strap 4 recoilless rifles to a helicopter's wings. Truly a scary prospect. Vitamin Gatling 105, 4 hard points. Any other armament on this thing that I need to know about? Nope. Hmm. Oh, that would be I want to. I read something here that I want to do. I read the Jigabashi may be fitted with reactive armor. I could slap the reactive armor modifier on it. We have stats for reactive armor. I want to. I want to. That just seems hilarious. Putting ERA on a helicopter. I I I really this is too good to pass up. I want to slap explosive reactive armor on the helicopter. It is an opportunity I cannot pass up. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. EIA on a helicopter is too fun. Too fun. There we are. EIA. Let me make sure I got the rules. I'm not sure what way I'm supposed to note this. There are certain ways, certain things are noted. So I'll just quickly pop over to the T-72 stat block to see how they note explosive reactive armor. There we are. Okay, so now it can negate the armor pierce of certain weapons. What other fun facts can I find in this detail of information block? And here I thought me working on stat blocks was going to be boring. Hmm. Oh, oh, I I looked at no. Wait. No. Wait. I misread. Which so I looked at 105 because it says because it said 105, but it says which replaced the 105 millimeter gun on the initial prototype. 120 millimeter smoothbore cannon. Wait a second. There we go. One of those three weapons. It'll either have a 30 millimeter Gatling, 105 millimeter, or 120 millimeter. I mean, you know. It is the murder helicopter. Hmm. Any other fun things I can find by reading this stat block? Let's see. Every time I read it, we find something new. Laser range final, thermal imaging, optic, and normal optics. Okay. Ballistic computer, yeah. So it should have thermal, which I will note. At the arms at this rate. So true. Honestly, if you see this thing, you're going to want to open up on it with a mech. It's the only option at this point. Oh, oh, I'm, no. So, it also has, it also has, it's, it, it's too powerful. It, in addition to being able to mount ERA, has Chobham armor, apparently. On top of ERA. Why? That's a bit redundant, but sure. I don't think you're killing this thing. I don't think you're killing this thing. I'm just being real. I don't think you're even fighting this thing. True. Just steal one while it's parked. What else am I going to find in this thing's details? We got its targeting. Got that. Mm-hmm. The price of this thing is going to be insane, though. Well, it's gonna have a price, that's for sure. True, true. The price is going up and up and up. To be fair, I don't know its price. Okay, I have to get it its speed. I think it's fair to give it roughly the speed of a, let's see. What's one of the faster helicopters? Yeah. 265 miles per hour. For it knows only hate. Doing the math. 2330. Then divide that by 2. For 166. Nope, 2330. 2330. Divide by 2. 1165. There we are. Truly, this helicopter is indeed to be feared. I'm Given the way helicopters are priced in Galactic Requiem, it's probably not actually going to be that expensive. I mean, I'll try and check, like, this is a rough estimate right here. Probably it's probably honestly going to be more than this, but let's do a little math. No, we're still looking at, like, my best estimate is still 500,000 credits. Assuming we can build it under 1,000 build points, up to 1,000 build points, we're looking at 500,000. Do not break the horse's leg. It will then have to go into the horse obliterator. Not ideal. Yeah, I can actually tell, yeah. Hopefully. So a AH-64, the cost of an AH-64 at least a while back was like 20 million. But in Galactic Requiem terms, you can buy an AH-64 for like 390,000 bucks. You can have an Apache for 390,000. Look, advanced material sciences and, well, low tech. 390,000 for an Apache. I assure you, turning sentient creatures into glue is considered a space crime, probably. Hello, and welcome. We're just working on stat blocks. Basically, more so world building Wednesday. We build worlds in the setting of Galactic Requiem. Yeah, Max hits people with the war crime rounds. It's true. Yeah, the party does war crimes for fun. I mean, apparently it was an accident, I guess. But I mean, specifically saying, hey, I hit the individual with I hit the individual with white phosphorus rounds. I use the white phosphorus rounds is, well, it's a choice. It's a choice. I'm not sure what the expected result there was. True. True. I mean, look, there are certain enemies that using white phosphorus on makes sense. Hitting a eldritch monstrosity with white phosphorus? Yes. Fighting the insectoid hives with white phosphorus? Sure. Perhaps even fighting a mutant outbreak of flesh abominations in a facility, in a bio research facility? Sure. But shooting just white phosphorus at people? I'm pretty sure pretty sure. I mean, there's no Geneva Convention in space, so, you know. It is a complete, words are hard. It is a completely custom universe. Galactic Requiem. We here are from Galactic Requiem Industries. Phosphorus? No, potassium. Potassium. Potassium is the one that burns on contact with water. I'm pretty sure. I remember because I remember it's the same element that's in bananas. At least I think it burns on water. I know it burns in it's super reactive. I know there's one that's even reactive to like air or something like that, but I'm pretty sure potassium's reactive to water. But yeah, I mean, like there are space laws against certain things created by the Galactic Council that most people agree on. Like don't use super weapons that destroy stars, crazily enough. But I mean, there's not a lot of agreement on laws, given like, insectoid hives exist. Now, Cal, well, specifically, that's not, say, in the galactic laws. It is illegal under the laws of decency. You don't want to hit something with eldritch enchanted rounds. That's against so much. I'm pretty sure that falls just simply under crimes against humanity. I mean, yeah, yeah, but that's different. Showing up as mercenaries to a planet. I mean, if somebody's wandering into your little corner of space, sure, sure. But if you are mercenaries on a planet that's being invaded by other corporations, I mean, using such on the locals is questionable at best. Now it's just more specific modifications, I suppose. But I'll probably save specific modifications to the vehicle for later, honestly. I mean, it's going to be me copying and pasting things like communications, long range radio, tactical radio, countermeasures. I think this thing probably has an ejection seat, maybe. I'd have to figure that out. Environmental systems life support, more than likely. Laser designator, yes. Navigation aids, of course, it's optics. You know, maybe it's stealth. I'm not sure. It might have some stealth. I mean, with Imperial technology, there's little that can't be done. Yeah, I mean, most vehicles you can slap an AI in around here, so it's possible. Just pick automation for it and bam, it's automated. Of course, it depends on the skill you want for the automated system. You can automate a vehicle for like 2,000, 2,000 space bucks for like basic. Of course, you could get better automation. It's going to cost more, but you know. Or, you know, be absolutely insane and slap a super AI in it. One of those learning AI. Have it just go absolutely. It's the attack helicopter has outthought your army. It is rolling with a plus. Well, let's see real fast. Slight tangent, I suppose, but let's check AI stats. Here we go. Corporate military grade artificial intelligence system. I doubt it would fit. You'd have to buy a slightly more expensive version to get it to actually fit in the helicopter, to be fair. Corporate grade and or mil spec AI. It would have a 40 in its non-physical stats. Int 40 plus 15. Wiz 40 plus 15. Charisma 40 plus 15. When the super AI in the attack helicopter decides to, in fact, outplan the entire military it's up against. When the attack helicopter decides to out diplomatize the yeah an entire civilization of lesser robots praying to the attack helicopter. But this is the reason why it's a bad idea to put a super AI in an attack helicopter. And I mean, that's not the best. That's not the best AI. That is a standard military and or corporate security grade AI. There is, of course, Imperial AI, the AI of the faction of the robots of the coalition, and the AI that the Commonwealth can technically push up to. With the tech can't innately do it, but they can push up to building what is considered super tier AI, which has 50 in its stats, 50 in 50 whiz and 50 char, which is a plus 20. So you can imagine all of the dice rolls on top with a plus 20. Like, mm, not the not the to hit, of course. That would be based on its dex and other such. So not its ability to hit accurately, which you could do. You could overclock its ability to hit to get it ridiculously high. But just from a intelligence standpoint, a helicopter that outthinks everything. The helicopter starts staging like military coups to try and take over a nation. Luckily, most high tier AI is watched and guarded by most nations. They don't allow most high grade AI to be free on account of the dangers of allowing high grade AI to be free. Usually, let me find it. I actually have the limit listed. Here we are. The highest civilian market AI is considered advanced AI and is far better than a person, don't get me wrong. So your average highest civilian market AI has 24 in its stats. This is D20 based. It's a loosely D20 based system. So, like your average person is, if you roll maximum, getting an 18 in their stat. And then, of course, there's species modifiers, which could boost it by more, but your average, like, human, which we call Terrans, is rolling three, well, the total you add together at most is 3d6. We generate them a little bit more complexly, but 3d6, so maximum of 18. So your civilian grade maximum is 24 for an AI. Well, of course, as you level up, you gain bonuses, so your 5 upgrades up to level 20 is 23, plus 6 if you get, like, advanced augmentation for your knowledge, which brings you to 29, meaning you could surpass the highest civilian grade market AI with heavy modification to yourself. We're talking like stacking all of your stat upgrades into one stat and then getting augmented with superior intelligence, superior wisdom, and superior charisma. So it's possible, but like you're not surpassing a super tier AI. There's of course official buyer AI, which is like 26 in its stats. Then there's corporate and restricted AI, which you need severe licenses for, which gets you to 30 in stats for those AI, and then there's the 40 above that, which is the military and corporate security grade. Um, yeah, there's a whole nation system. There's a whole system for nations and corporations and all that. I'm pretty sure a super AI in a toaster would cook up revenge on whoever put it in the toaster. It is technically an option, assuming you have a neural data pad. Now, admittedly, you probably don't have the processing power or storage space to put a super tier AI in your brain. But with a neural data pad, one can theoretically put most standard AI. I mean, to be fair, if I remember correctly, the average neural data pad has 150 PB storage space. So you could put an advanced AI, which takes up 150 PB. You would not be able to run anything on your neural data pad other than the advanced AI. I suppose you could get storage expansions for your data pad. But 150 PB is an advanced AI. So you could put a 24 stat AI in your brain and run nothing else on your neural data pad. Actually, there are very specifically, there's actually funny fact about that, Sparky. There's multiple ways to go about that. There's actually in base D20, not base D20. Yeah, you can get cybernetic augments for a horse body, but also there is very much you can also get bio augments, but very much specifically in D20 future, I believe Cybertech expansion, there is a um augment called a like Destrida system that is a person can get that is just actively a removing of their lower body and replacing it with horse to make artificial centaurs. Although robotic, there's also technically you could stat a bio version that would cost more because biotech costs more than cybertech. Basal AI in head. Basal AI in head. I will have you know, as an imperial lord, I will bring down the entire wrath of the empire, my entire nation's output, over 700,000 credit units worth of military might on your pathetic commonwealth. We shall see what happens. Basal AI. Yeah, I mean, there's the avians. I mean, there's lots of different pirates in space, but the avians are especially known for piracy. The third Tadok bird empire, or the third Tadok avian empire, if you want to be technical. They're a bunch of pirates. Because of course birds are pirates. It's just, it's the way things work. Merlin's a pirate. Let's see. True, true. Just as all horses are cavalry, all birds are pirates. Actually, there is in law, in law, a lot of the galaxy is racist towards the avians, very specifically because the avians tend towards piracy, and they salvage a lot of tech. So a lot of people think that they have low tech, but they also like. I mean, it's inaccurate. The avians build some of the fastest starships in their custom-built starships. I believe one of the corporations is called Celestial Aether Forges, and they produce top-grade, high-speed starships. So if you want and fancy at that, like they're not like we're building high-speed starship. We're talking fancy as hell, luxury, high-speed starships, faster than most other people's starships. So yeah, but a lot of the rest of the galaxy look down on them due to the fact that their core nation, well, it fell apart long ago. The initial the Tadok, they they the nation fell to pirates that actually took it over. So, and of course, I mean, lots of people make fun of the Tadok and go they say real mean things like Tadok go squawk squawk, and like mean things like that to the poor birds. I mean, they don't like engaging in war unless it's profitable. Run by penguins. It is possible, yeah. A bird with a bird. I mean, see, the thing is, not all birds are sentient. So of course, yeah, there's non-sentient birds. You could have avian with a parrot. It is an option. Best not think too hard about it. I mean, Elysian Terrans are primates, and not all primates have cultures and sciences. Find a snake, stare at it, it stares back. Find a koala, stare at it, it stares back. That's just how it works. Whenever someone finds something similar to them, you just have to stare. Like, what's going on? Hmm? What's going on? It is the way. Sort of like when a robot sees a computer. Yeah, other than specials, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, other than specials, I'm pretty sure I've pretty much finished this helicopter. It is just at this point all the specials. You got its hard points. I suppose I have to figure out how much its hard points can hold weight-wise. But that's technically optional. I don't feel like going to the complex math of figuring out how much its hard points should be allowed to carry. That doesn't cure the venom. That's not how that works. It's not a case of you accidentally touch the poisonous frog. Now you have to get the poisonous frog to touch you. That's not how it works. Um, range. Generally the maximum, not maximum, but like the average firing range, whether it's automatic or not. I have the caliber, and that allows me to basically do damage. Um, if it has burst fire, that's relevant. Um, I mean, I can show you real fast. I have, I can grab a gun. Where is it? Items list, vehicle. Nope, not vehicles, weapons. Here we are. Now this is a slightly more common but older variant of stat block for weapon. So, of course, we need to figure out its damage. Given that it's, I believe, 7 millimeter, you said? So, given that 7.62 does about 10, it's probably safe to say 2d10, more than likely. And then its range, which is what you need to find out. I'm not sure if that'd be up to 100 or something. I'm not entirely sure the range. And then fire rate, I believe it's 10 round internal box, which is int box, and then weight, of course. $400 meters. Length, meters, 400, 1300, because we'll round down because it's easier for me. 1300 divide by 3. I think I did that wrong. Nope, I didn't do that wrong. 1300 divide by 10, divide by 3 times 2. So we're looking at a range of about 90 to 100. I'm willing to round up to 90 because technically it's like 86. And what is its action? And then, yeah, no, basically just its weight and action and fire rate. There is technically united, well, sort of. There's the, what are they called? I don't remember what they're called. Oh no. When the when the writer forgets the name of the nation. Oh no. Terran nations. The Terran nations, of course. Not sure how I could forget that. I mean, they're not all of the Terrans. There's many different types of Terrans. Of course, there's Terrans in the Empire. The Empire's full of Terrans. The Commonwealth is full of Terrans. But there's the Terran nations, which are a loose alliance of several Terran nations. Six point 6.8. There we are, 6.8 millimeter. I would also need to put question marks here because I don't know gun designer or model number. Model something dash R because it is a rifle. 2D10, 90 feet. Yeah. But see, as easy as that, the basics, the very basics of a gun. No, humans are called Terrans, and they're on many, many worlds. They're one of the most common species in the galaxy. Hmm. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, those are the basics of how stat blocks, for the most part, work. I mean, so if you want to be technical, you can add more modifiers to guns and all that. Like, there are lots of variant rules, but for your basic firearm, it's rather simple of a stat block. Now, of course, there's attachments and little modifiers. Like, I mean, how do I put this? Where my modifier list? Weapons, modifications. Please tell me I have the modifications list listed. Let me check. I have to hope. Some modifications are listed, not all of them. Like for instance, I mean, here's an example, I suppose. Extended barrel, heavy barrel, ported barrel, threaded barrel, bayonet lug, bipod. But I mean, for more Wild West style campaigns, there's more modifications like that were taken from more Wild West based campaigns, like hair trigger, custom grip, detachable stock, custom sights. You know, so there's lots of modification one can do to a weapon. Bunches. Of course, you could also attach like simple modifications like rails with sights and like a sling so you can throw it over your shoulder and carry it easier. So drawing it's less of an action. But yeah, I mean, we go into a lot of detail. There's very much you can't do in Galactic Requiem. The base stats and base blocks and such are easy, but all the modification options and all that. One of my favorite things is like for the quick draw rules. The if you ever get into a Wild West gunfight, having a quick draw, having a shortened barrel on your, for instance, revolver, increases your draw rate in a showdown, meaning you have a higher chance bonus on rolling against your opponent when drawing a shortened barrel with a revolver in a quick draw. Like technically possible. However, casters are relatively rare. Casters are what we call magic users, psionic users, divine users, etc. They're relatively rare down south. And of course, the problem being, well, not only range, but the fact that magic, casting psionics, etc., doesn't work on electronics. Energy fields disrupt casting. Cal, don't say such evil things. I mean, hacking can be OP. It can be. Because, I mean, frying people's brains remotely using programs, good stuff. If somebody is foolish enough to have a network linked gun, congrats. You have a network linked gun. You are an absolute fool. And then, immediately obliterate their ability to use their gun. However, if you're wondering, why would anybody have a neural data pad connected to the network in combat if it can be hacked? The answer is simple. Bonuses. Ridiculous bonuses. There's AI TACnet commanders that basically can give ridiculous bonuses like defense bonuses, exceptionally high defense bonuses, grant free action dice, all sorts of nice stuff that benefits to being connected to a TACnet AI, which is one reason you might not want to disconnect from the net in combat. Especially corporate assault squads. Because, of course, corporate assault squads bosses love standing in their corporate towers and watching their assault team go in live, and they'll complain if they don't get to have that view. So, of course, some corporate assault squads have to have their network connection so their boss can watch, you know? corporate assault squad breaks open the doors, their boss watching remotely, hacker immediately hacks into their system, you know? It can be powerful. Oh, machines, you say? Custom design a car, or a vehicle, or a gun. There's so many modifications available to so many different things. Armor modifications, weapon modifications, vehicle modifications, building structures. Biotech is a wide field. I mean, very specifically, there's a faction called the Enster that specialize in biotech. They're not robots, though. They're weird bug-like creatures. They're not technically bugs. They're very much not technically bugs, but they're bug-like in appearance, and they love their biotech. They very much specifically convert their enemies into creatures to fight for them and unleash horrible biomonstrosities on the enemies and plagues and diseases and biowarfare. But they absolutely like nothing is worse than an Enster dropship or an Enster gunship or an Enster fighter jet. Because, you know, everybody's having a good time firing up at a, yeah, it's always fun to fire up at uh, uh, like not a helicopter, a fighter jet until that fighter jet lands on its many legs and extends its claws. And then the fighter jet decides to engage you in melee because it's actually a giant biotech flying creature. You know, not ideal. Not ideal. Theoretically, you could augment your eyes. It is possible. You would need some other skills to do it, likely. Likely something along the lines of medicine. I forget if we still use or got rid of cyber surgery. Might have gotten rid of it, but you would still need some knowledge in certain fields to be able to do it. But yeah, there's definitely biomonstrosities and eldritch monstrosities too. You can't just rip. I mean, I mean, you could rip them out. That is. Are you capable of ripping your eyes out in game? Yes. Are they meant to be ripped out? No. There's actually a modification that is very specifically quick detach. That is a modification. But Cal's character does not have that modification in the cybernetic eyes. I mean, yeah, I mean, so technically the modification is meant for limbs, you know? So like you could pop off your cyber arm, pop on a different cyber arm. Of course, I would draw the line somewhere. I would draw the line somewhere. I'd probably say you can't simply pop out your artificial heart. You know, there is a line. You'd have to get a different modification like accessible internals in order to pop out your own cybernetic heart. You'd need accessible internals. But eyes, I mean, some people can actually pop their biological eyes out. So it's not a far stretch to say cybernetic detachable eyes. It's possible. But, you know, centaur with jump boost legs. That reminds me of the time I was disappointed. It reminds me greatly of the time I was disappointed. Sparky, did I ever tell you about the time I was playing RimWorld? I was playing RimWorld. This was before the vehicles mod finally came out. This was a long while back. This was several updates ago. Um, before the I think it was even before biotech mod. So not biotech mod, but the biotech expansion. And before the vehicle mod finally released, I was trying to figure out a way to travel fast across the world on the ground. Of course, there was SRTS, which is like ships. That mod's been around for a long time. So that was around, but I wanted to sort of send ground-based expeditions. So I thought, hey, the cybernetics in the game, there was a bunch of mods, of course, heavily modded, but the cybernetics in the game allow you to walk faster. And horses in RimWorld increase your travel speed on the overworld map. I wonder if I can replace the horse's legs with cyber legs so it can travel even faster across the world map. It didn't work and it made me real sad. But there was one horse in my colony that had 4 cyber legs. So, unfortunately, it didn't make it. It made it travel, if I recall correctly, it made it travel faster on the like the loaded in map. If I recall correctly, it traveled faster, but it didn't translate over to the overland map traveling faster, which is why I was sad. But that was a long while back, so I don't remember too well much about it. But like, yeah, now with all the big vehicle mod that released, I don't need cyber horse. But yeah, in GR, cyber horse is definitely an option. But yes, um, the Grand Empire is the best faction, yes. There are definitely no cons to joining the Grand Empire. I am definitely not biased as your host here, Lord Casimir Basilius of the Empire. Not leader of the entire empire, but a lord in the Grand Empire. I am definitely not biased towards the Grand Empire. I assure you. Definitely not. I, Lord Casimir Basilius of the Grand Empire, am impartial. I mean, very much so. Right, Lieutenant? Yes, good. The Lieutenant agrees. I am impartial. Good job, Lieutenant. Get out of here. There he goes. That's our Lieutenant, by the way. There he is. He helps run our broadcast. Yeah, he's the one who forgets coffee sometimes. He does his best. And then, of course, I mean, just because it's been a while. Just because it's been a while and I feel like I really want to. Because it's been a while. Behold the might of the Empire. Yeah. Of course, for our special events, we have our Imperial forces. But we best head back to the office. yeah, sometimes you have to have little events. I mean, I suppose since we were there, we might as well show it off. The kit. Yeah. Now we can hit things with napalm. Sometimes, sometimes you gotta hit things with napalm. But we usually wear that for events and armor, not when we're sitting at our office. I mean, not when we're at our office. That's what we have our desk for. Which, I mean, we can always get rid of the desk. But, where else am I to keep my paperwork? Making my conscript work overtime, dragging the desk away, bringing it back, you know. But this is why we have the lieutenant, for handling all this stuff. The Imperial traitors, well, where aren't the Imperial traitors? Everywhere. Anyone could be a traitor. But yes. Hmm. No, 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 no. I'm a loyal Imperial Lord. I gladly serve the Empire. I am not a traitor. I serve loyally. I pay my tithes to the Lord that I serve. They get their ships and credits, and I get my title and all the benefits of being a lord. Yes. But we are arriving at, well, technically, I say we're arriving at, we've passed the time in which I usually go and get my coffee and then stream. I mean, so I suppose we will likely call it here for the day, as I really want to go and get coffee. But it has been fun. I hope you all have had fun. And ideally, assuming everything continues to function, this Friday is going to be solo TTRPG day, in which we follow the solo adventures of our mercenary, Juliana Aldis, as we follow Juliana Aldis's adventures around the galaxy on Fridays. Um, yeah. So that's our plan, and then possibly, Armor on like Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure when Armor's planned for, but there'll be the Armor, and then of course someday we'll finish a script of Newsday Tuesday. Someday, someday. No, 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 no. I don't personally lead Juliana Aldis. I simply sit back on my broadcasting device and watch Juliana Aldis fail at whatever she wishes to do at any given day. No, I've personally yet to set out on an adventure. Maybe sometime. Anyway, I mean, I need to provide, and it's like reality TV, except we watch the fate of a poor mercenary. Anyway, um, yeah, so that's our plans in the future, for the week at least. World building Wednesday next Wednesday, Tuesday, maybe thing. And yeah, that's next week's plan too. So, as always, I hope that you all, yes, all of you, have a wonderful day. As we, go over here to the screen of ending, the end screen, if you will. So yeah, of course, have to shut down a few things. And actually, we're going to do something fancy. We are going to raid insane, crazy, wild. Assuming I can get this to work.